So let's talk about real value versus perceived value in the world in general. I think that we can all agree that teachers bring real value to the marketplace, to the community, to the world. They average about $66,000 per year, and these are national averages. So you're talking about a very low socioeconomic states and very high socioeconomic states. The average is $66,000 per year. Police, $58,000 to $68,000. We've all seen what happens when we defund the police department. It does not look pretty. Sounds good on paper for some people, not a good idea in general for a safe society to live in. There's real value to having people that enforce the law. Fire department. I think that's a lower average because there's so many volunteer firefighters in the world, but 48,000 on average is the national average for firefighters. Very, very valuable. There's real value to their job. U.S. military officers average $61,000 per year. I don't think anybody can refute the fact that we need military officers. We need strong leadership to protect our country, to protect our freedom. Top cancer researchers, $161,000 per year. We're getting up there, but in comparison to other professions, that's depressingly low. And when I say cancer researchers, we're talking about all researchers that are trying to fight disease in general. Nobel Prize winners, the tippity top Nobel Prize winner makes 1.14. The best scientist basically in the world makes about $1 million. The average general dentist, $220,000. The average dental specialist, $330,000. The average physician, $280,000. The average medical specialist makes about $480,000. All right. Entertainment and escapism. Let's look at some of these salaries. The average salaries in the NFL, $2.8 million. Average salaries for professional baseball, Major League Baseball, $4.9 million. The average salary in the NBA, $9.7 million. The Kardashians split $100 million per season to do their ridiculously overrun reality television show. Kim is now worth $1.4 billion. Kylie's worth $750 million. Rihanna's worth $1.4 billion. Taylor Swift is worth $1.1 billion. Mark Wahlberg, pretending to be a police officer or pretending to be a U.S. military officer, makes about $10 million a year. And Leo DiCaprio makes about $30 million a year. Totally random. Just grab those out of the air. I'm not a Swiftie. I am just reporting the facts. So if you're looking at the way that we value in our society, real value, teachers, firefighters, military officers, people that are adding real value to the society versus perceived value, professional athletes, people that have a stage, people that have a following. What value is this slide representing? This value that is represented on this slide is the way that these people make us feel. And the places that they take us in our mind to escape from our normal, everyday, boring lives. Entertainment and escapism is real value. And you can see it by the amount of money that we pay for these types of people. And whether or not you say that there's value in what they do and what the Kardashians do, people do value what they do. Entertainment and escapism is huge business. So instead of fighting the fact that I went to school for 8 years and I have to deal with ridiculous patients and HR nightmares and huge liability and crippling debt every single day to make a buck, and all they have to do is make a post about some new makeup product and they make $100 million a year. Instead of fighting that, we can learn something from this perceived versus real value, can we not? So let's talk about that. So adding real and perceived value. And this is the example I gave before. Why can some practices charge $2,000 for a crown, be booked out for 6 months while others are getting $800 for a crown and have immediate availability? Why is that? It, again, is because of the amount of value that the second practice is bringing to the marketplace versus the first practice. And you guys could agree with it or not. You guys, potentially, the second practice is a Spear graduate, and they went to COIS, and they went to CSI, and they did all of the clinical things necessary to be the tip of the spear of clinicians, but they haven't taken the time to cultivate a strong culture in their practice, to cultivate a great patient experience. They, for whatever reason, haven't added value, enough value to the marketplace to be more like that first practice. So it might be a head scratcher and say, I feel like I'm doing everything that I could possibly do to add value. The marketplace is speaking. If you're side by side with somebody that's outperforming you, they are delivering more value than you are. Even if they're a hack and you see all their redos and they have like incompletely filled endos and open margins, somehow the marketplace is telling you that they are more valuable than you for one reason or another. And that's a hard pill to swallow for clinicians. But it's a reality that we have to wrap our heads around and accept. So what if we could have the highest clinical standards that we already do, everybody in this room, and we played the value game? And we learned a little bit about Major League Baseball and the Kardashians and Mark Wahlberg. What could we do if we married perceived value with real value together? Unstoppable. That's what you get up here with the black belts. They figured it out. Maybe they couldn't articulate it the way that I'm articulating it right now, but that's what they've figured out how to do. What are some of the subtle and drastic ways that these types of practices add values to their businesses? And we're talking about everything. Everything matters. Fred Joyle's book, Everything is Marketing. Everything matters. The way you pick up the phone matters. The way it smells when you walk through that front door for the very first time. The smile or not smile on the first person that they see when they walk through the door. The decor in the reception area. The amount of time that they wait. The flavor of the topical. There's value in every single tiny component to the patient experience and what you're delivering. What can we learn from the entertainment escapism worlds to add real and perceived value to our practices? One of my favorite quotes by a legendary lady. People forget what you say. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. If there's one thing that I could wish upon everybody in this room for a skill set that you could refine and improve and cultivate this year, it's your charisma, your ability to have a good conversation, your ability to build quick rapport and relationships. You guys, I've been able to wallpaper over a lot of deficiencies in my intelligence and everything else in my life because of my ability to have a good conversation and connect with people. I can look back and say that is the number one thing that has led to me being able to do anything in my life. My ability to assemble probably the best group of dentists on the planet, all marching in the same direction, all with the same mission, all with the same core values. It's because of my ability to have a conversation, to be curious, to be humble. Those are the things that we're going to talk about over the next few minutes and how you can cultivate that.